Hey guys, I'll take you a tour of our brewery. Hey guys, I want to introduce you to our head brewer, Chris Shea. How you doing?
I'm Chris, head brewer of Henniker Brewing Company. Let me show you around what we got going on here today. Well, we're in the brewery space. Here's the brew house, 15-barrel brew house made in good old United States of Metalcraft Fabrications. We brew here about 2 to 4 times a week, depending on, me, I'm the only one, so it's when I have time. We just finished brewing wheat that just went over into fermenter 3 over there. Coming up to wheat season, Whipple's wheat, it's an amazing, super sessionable dry hop wheat. That we've been producing for a couple of years now. These are our fermenters. They're all 15-barrel fermenters. That's a 30-barrel, so that's a double batch. It's a long day. Then over here we have our bright tanks, where we carbonate and package the beer, bottled in kegs for stores, restaurants, and bars and whatnot. Got about 32 barrels of our amber apparition right in there, and in fermenters in bright tank 2. We just cleaned that out of IPA, so that'll be getting a new beer next week. We got a lot of really cool stuff going on. In tank 3, 2, and then 1, we're gonna have our summer seasonal artisan ale. It's a Belgian table beer, beautiful low alcohol Belgian blonde ale. Really, really good beer. Made with Pilsner malt, wheat, and a lot of noble hops. And then towards the end of the month, we're going to be brewing Aura, which is from our Off the Grid series, and 9% Belgian strong gold, and that's going to be great. So once the beer's done fermenting, we get transferred to the bright tank where it's packaged, and then it goes out to bars, and then you take it to the dome. So that's what we got going on here.
Hey guys, let's talk about some of the beers that we have here available at Henniker Brewing Company. So we'll go over the full line of beers that we offer, starting out the 4 year-rounds. The first one is Whipple's Wheat. So it's a unfiltered, dry-hopped wheat ale. It's kind of like a cross between a pale ale and a wheat. So it pulls in drinkers who normally like pale ales, IPAs, also pulls in the wheat drinkers. So you get a little bit of hop on the back end, more citrusy up front. We got it right up in this one in the 99 Bottles Beer Blog in the Boston Globe a little while ago. So it's one of our better movers, good for summertime, a little bit lighter, more sessionable. The second one in the line is our Apparition Amber Ale. So this was the first beer that we came out with when we started up. So it appeals to a wide range of drinkers. It's more malty. It's got notes of toffee and caramel in it. Just one of those easy drinking year-round beers. Does really well on draft for us. Third up is our Working Man's Porter. It's more of a traditional style porter. We use a recipe from 1856, London, England. So it's a little bit lighter bodied than a lot of porters and stouts that you see today. And we get all the malt straight from England. So you get kind of a coffee, baker's chocolate taste up front, and then we use roasted malt, so you get a little bit of smoky flavor on the back end. So this one does really well for us in the winter time. It's on tap at a lot of the ski areas. You can find it over at Bretton Woods, Pat's Pea, a bunch of the different areas around New Hampshire. Fourth up in the lineup is our Hopslinger IPA. So this is our year-round IPA, but we actually changed over the recipe on it pretty recently to a new hop profile. So it's a little bit different than your traditional West Coast American IPA. It gives you kind of a different tropical fruit flavor. It's more pineapple, mango, really aromatic, 7%. But I'll let Chris go into a little bit more details on that once you guys meet with him in a little while. Next up is the 4 seasonals, which we just started producing last year. So the first one is called the Roast. It's a coffee stout, and we use 15 pounds of locally roasted coffee beans from White Mountain Gourmet Coffee in Concord, New Hampshire. So we like to use local companies wherever we can, and it worked out to be a great relationship with those guys. They've been fully supportive of us, and we went through and tried out all the different coffee bean varieties that they had over there, and we ended up using a mix between their espresso bean, one from Guatemala and another one from Kenya. Next up is the DH IPA. It's our double IPA. It's been the fastest selling beer that we came out with so far. And it's a little bit different, the idea behind this one. We use new emerging hops from around the world. So the hop profile is completely different from year to year. So this year's blend, we used 2 hops from New Zealand, 2 from out west, and 1 from Germany. So it's super aromatic, 8.5%. Get notes of pineapple, some passion fruit, mango in there. So it's been selling really well for us. It's actually almost sold out here at the brewery now. So if you want to come over and grab one before it's gone till next year, come over and see us. This one is our summer seasonal. It's called Artisan Ale. It's a Belgian style table ale that we dry hop with noble hops. So super sessionable, really light for summertime, one of those that you can just sit on your porch and drink all day. But it has a good amount of flavor to it considering the low ABV and the style overall with the hops and the yeast strain that we use. And last up in the seasonal lineup is Hometown Double Brown. So this is our highest rated beer on Beer Advocate out of all the beers that we came out with so far. This one got a 90. We use an obscene amount of malt in it. It's 1,500 pounds per batch. Almost didn't even fit in the tanks when we were brewing it. A ton of different flavors in this one. It's got some molasses and burnt sugar in there. It's just one of those hearty beers for people who are sick of having pumpkin in the fall, because Lord knows there are enough of pumpkin beers out there, and we will never, ever do a pumpkin beer, so you're welcome for that. But Hometown Double Brown, really good for all those looking to get away from pumpkin during the fall. And then up next is our newest beer series. It's called Off the Grid series, and this is our anniversary beer called Company. It's a Belgian style ale that it's a quad, and we took house toasted cherry wood and then we aged in white rum barrels from our friends over at Flag Hill Distillery in Lee, New Hampshire. So again, another connection to a local New Hampshire company, and those guys have been awesome to work with. They make really good wines and really good hard alcohol over there, so it was perfect to use for this beer. So we're going to be coming out with this one every year. It's a good beer for vertical tastings, one of those that you can cellar and you can try from year to year and see how the taste differs from it. So we have 40 cases in-house that we're saving for release next year and every year going forward as a celebration of our company and a thank you for people's support as we grow. And the next beer that we have is a beer that hasn't even been released yet. It'll be out in the next couple weeks. It's the next up in the Off the Grid series. It's called Gentleman Farmer. It's a saison that we use hops from New Zealand and the West Coast. It's 6.5%. I won't go into too much detail because I know Chris is pretty excited about this one and wants to tell you guys a little bit more about it. But that's the lineup that we have right now. We're going to be coming out with 2 more beers in the Off the Grid series, but those will be out later on this year. So hope you get to try some and enjoy. I'm one of the co-owners and marketing director at Henniker Brewing Company. So just to go over a little bit of the background about how we started as a company. There's 5 of us that work here. There's 8 total investors. So pretty small company, but we've been growing quick over the past 2.5 years. We started brewing in December of 2012, and then we started shipping out our first beers in January of 2013. So we have a 15 barrel setup. Capacity-wise, we're the 7th largest brewery in the state right now. We're distributing all over New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, and soon to be Maine, probably within the next month or so. So we've been growing quick. Last year we did about 1,200 barrels, and this year will probably be around 2,000, if not more. So our goal is eventually be all over New England, with distribution soon to be in cans. We're going to be coming out with Hop Singer IPA 6-pack this summer, so definitely look out for that. And we'll be adding our other year-round beers into 6-pack cans as we move forward.